A 5, 6, 7, 8.
¡Ay, ay, ay! ¡Arriba! ¿Quieres bailar?
Hello, and welcome back to Crystal Clear. I'm your host, Awestruck Box. Now, since the last episode, a few things have occurred in Steven Universe fandom. Due to slip-ups on Turner's end, and the usual leaks from mishaps, we found out that there's a possible episode in production titled Bismuth, and could likely air over the summer of Steven, even though we're all still waiting for that to start. Now, mishaps leaked a bunch of marathon titles, as I also previously reported on. Two titles in particular caught everyone's attention: Jasper's Corruption and SMOKY QUARTZ. While the name of the Jasper Corruption Marathon is pretty self-explanatory, that Jasper will be corrupted throughout enough number of episodes to make up a marathon, SMOKY QUARTZ is way more interesting. Thus, I'm making an episode about that first. Now, I see a lot of you are saying, oh my god, it's a fusion between Steven and Amethyst. And honestly, I don't believe that's an incorrect conclusion to jump to. There are many possibilities SMOKY QUARTZ might be, and I'm going to break down all my theories for them in this video. First things first, let's have a look at the actual real-life SMOKY QUARTZ. It's a brown, blackish kind of gem. Now, props to a commenter named Omni, or Idiot Pick, I hope I pronounced that right, who stated, SMOKY QUARTZ is considered a holy gem. People believe once it would escort people to the afterlife. It is commonly used for healing and meditation. SMOKY QUARTZ starts out in a crystal-like state, and is given its brownish-blackish color by impurities of aluminum and natural radiation of the stone. SMOKY QUARTZ has been erroneously marketed as SMOKY Torpads. Morion, rare, natural irradiated, very dark brown to black SMOKY QUARTZ, usually with dolomite or other minerals attached that enhance its shielding and detoxifying properties. It gently heals emotional conditions and trauma, overcomes lack of trust, and supports one in coping with stress and strain. It promotes alertness and productivity, and helps one tackle important tasks with zeal. That stands out to me. I believe SMOKY might be a fusion of Steven and someone else. From everything I've looked at, SMOKY is considered a healing gem. Since Steven is as well, this is why I think she'll be a fusion. I'm not 100% positive, so please don't quote me. Oh well, I'm sorry that I just quoted you, I'm probably a jackass for that. Anyways, let's start under the assumption that SMOKY QUARTZ is a fusion between Steven and a gem, something that the fans have long awaited for, including me. Countless if endless fan art depicting what such a gem would look like. Now, I'm gonna elaborate, in order from most to least likely, on who SMOKY QUARTZ could be a fusion between. What's interesting enough about this is that while other gems use their weapons for melee and offense, Steven's weapon is a shield. It's automatically used for defense. Sure, he can use it like a frisbee, go full Captain America with it.
Doesn't anything work on this cruddy planet? I do! Huh? Ow!
But Steven is a peaceful person. He solves his fights with words, not violence. So trying to think of what this fusion's weapons would be is quite a difficult task. Also keep in mind, usually fusions combine the pigmentations of the two gems together. Ruby and Sapphire are red and blue, which is why Garnet is purple, besides in earlier episodes, where it was a weird purple-brown. Garnet and Amethyst are both purple, so the pigmentation of Suchalite is a dark purple. Pearl's pigmentation is pure white, while Rose has something close to a Caucasian pigmentation, which is why Rainbow Quartz's pigmentation is more of a peach. Sardonis' pigmentation is that of early Garnet's brownish color. Opal makes a lightish blue. Alexandrite's pigmentation is a purple close to Garnet's. And while blue and orange doesn't exactly make green, if you look at a color wheel, the three of them are very close, only being separated by yellow.
Diamond.
So even Malachite makes a bit of sense. SMOKY QUARTZ would likely have that darkish brownish color. With that being said, number 1, Steven and Garnet. Aww. Besides Steven's skin color and Garnet's pigmentation theoretically making the color of SMOKY QUARTZ, Garnet is most likely the gem closest to Steven. We've had more episodes of Steven and Garnet bonding and going on adventures than he has with Pearl or Amethyst, and just more cute little moments altogether.
Oh, Steven, there's one more thing I have to mention.
What is it?
I love you. Bye. Steven!
Garnet! Is it morning already?
It's midnight. Happy birthday, Steven.
Did I make a good first impression?
Oh, Steven, we already love you.
You don't have to keep wearing that stuff.
It makes me feel important.
I don't care about that!
I do. I should have listened to you. Steven, I see so many things that can hurt you. I should never have let one of them be me.
The answer.
Love.
Wow. I knew it.
So did I.
And while Stephen loves and trusts Pearl and Amethyst, Garnet's probably more reliable emotionally for a fusion. Stephen has seen all of them at their worst.
You can't understand how I feel. None of you had what we had.
She probably just wanted to protect you like everyone else.
What do you know? You've never even met her.
I had someone who was always there for me until she started hanging out with you!
Don't do this, Amethyst. Seriously.
I bet you'd stay for her.
You wouldn't.
What? Do this?
Stop!
They were forced together. They were forced to fuse. This is wrong. I'm sorry.
You're too important.
I am not!
Yes, you are.
No!
Why won't you just let me do this for you, Rose?
I'm not gonna let you stand there and remind me of everything I hate about myself! I never asked for it to be this way. I never asked to be made.
I don't feel like forgiving Pearl. Don't understand. We must. If you're not going to listen, then you can just go.
We must move past this, Ruby.
She lied to us so we would form a sardonic. Everything is just so crystal clear.
But from memory, I don't think Garnet's ever lashed out actually. Not to mention, when something happens with her that she doesn't want Stephen to see, she apologizes. Something Amethyst and Pearl have not done yet.
I wish you hadn't seen that. I'm sorry.
Garnet is already a fusion of love if that, which we know Stephen has plenty of. Ruby and Sapphire may be each other's worlds when they're unfused, but when they're Garnet, Stephen is her world. She opens up to him freely, from explaining her powers, to telling him how Ruby and Sapphire met. And she's the main one who listens to Stephen, who gives his ideas a try first, who doubts him the least.
Let's do it Stephen's way. You're a crystal gem too. There has never been anything or anyone like Stephen. We don't know what he needs.
Because of all these factors, Garnet is the perfect candidate to be Stephen's first fusion with. And with the SMOKY QUARTZ gemstone having such a holy presence in real life, these two are absolutely without a doubt pure enough to live up to those expectations. There's no doubt in my mind about it. Number 2, Stephen and Amethyst. Now some of you are probably thinking, Vox, Amethyst may not be a bad person, but she's far from pure and holy. Well, there's a very specific reason why I put her above Pearl, but that reasoning is saved for Pearl. While Amethyst and Stephen's relationship isn't as loving, when compared to Garnet, they're probably the most chummy on the team. Amethyst acts the most human out of all the gems too, as she loves embracing the fact that she's from Earth. Stephen and Amethyst are always messing around, going on adventures, getting into mischief. While Pearl and Garnet share the motherly role in Stephen's life, Amethyst is more of his sibling, a big sister if you may. Plus in the opening of the episode Alone Together, Amethyst was Stephen's partner for practicing fusion. If he succeeded, they would have fused right there. Now that I think about it, that's probably why everyone's hyping up that fusion so much. It was kind of thrown right in our faces. And while that's a fusion I would love to see, we have to remember that fusion would act very, very childish. We know Amethyst is impulsive, and isn't exactly the first one in line to take things seriously. And while this isn't exactly a bad thing, if the whole team was there, I don't see why Stephen and Amethyst would fuse first. They would have to be in a desperate situation, where it's just the two of them and fusion is the only way out. And I love Amethyst to death. She's definitely one of my favorite characters without a doubt, and I can relate a lot to her. But she also doesn't fit the gemstone's holy status as I mentioned earlier. She's still more likely than Pearl. Which brings us to number 3. Peridot. Bruh. Pulled a fast one on you, didn't I? But in all seriousness, Stephen played a large role in Peridot's redemption. The two of them are definitely close, and have ended up in the most dangerous situations together.
Do something! I am doing something! Something useful! Do you have any last words?
I love you, Peridot.
Wow, thanks.
Peridot was already offered fusion before, but was way too nervous to go through with it, and probably uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Get ready.
No. I can't do it.
That's fine. Peridot, I'm proud of you.
Why?
Because you made an effort to understand me.
but I feel like she'd be more comfortable with Steven. Plus, we don't know if Peridot has a weapon yet, but if we're under the assumption that she doesn't, then it goes with the theme of Steven not wanting to hurt anybody. Plus, Peridot being a technician, and Steven just being kind-hearted and caring, could cause their fusion to have a doctor-like persona, similar to Sardonic's radio host persona.
Good evening, everybody. This is the lovely Sardonyx coming to you alive from the soon-to-be former communication hub.
Which would be absolutely perfect for healing corrupted gems. And if a fusion, this SMOKY QUARTZ is the only way to heal corrupted gems. Peridot is probably the one who dislikes Jasper the least, so she'd probably be the only one immediately willing to uncorrupt Jasper. At least, that's what I believe. And then, coming in at number 4, Steven and Pearl. So why is it the least likely pair to fuse to be SMOKY QUARTZ? Even though Steven is his own person from Rose, they still have the same gemstone, and we've already seen Pearl fuse with Steven's gem when that gem belonged to Rose, aka Rainbow Quartz. So if Steven and Pearl were to fuse, the fusion would just come out a possibly different looking Rainbow Quartz, maybe with shorter hair, I'm not really sure. Pearl fusing with Steven is probably a long ways off in her emotional state. I think we'd actually see all of them fuse before we see Rainbow Quartz return, simply because Rainbow Quartz is one-on-one. Something that I don't think Pearl is ready for yet. And here's a bonus one, courtesy of the Steven Universe subreddit. What if SMOKY QUARTZ is a fusion between Amethyst and Peridot, and when they fuse, the first thing SMOKY says is,
Holy smokes.
And with that, this Crystal Clear comes to a close. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. What do you think about the possibilities of SMOKY QUARTZ? Comment your thoughts down below. I'll probably make another episode about the powers of SMOKY QUARTZ, depending on who fuses with Steven, and hypothetical weapons they would have. Well, I'm actually not sure if they can be considered weapons. Maybe instruments? I don't know. If you want to go the extra mile to help us out, pledge to our Patreon. There are tons of cool bonuses that come with pledging. Follow the Roundtable on Twitter. And don't be afraid to check out other things on this channel, such as The Shelf, or my Dragon Ball Super reviews. Awestruck Vox, signing out.